What is up? What is up? Welcome back to the Lux Cycle live stream. My name is Jacob, and I'm here with Mickey. Mickey, what's up?
What's going on? Happy to be here.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, so back at it today because we're not streaming tomorrow. We might as well do back to back. You know, give the people what they want. Real quick, we'll address that. There are some issues going on with the price action concept on the 4 hour and 1 hour on some assets. Some assets aren't having issues. It's just a memory issue with TradingView's update. They did some recent changes. So it's not the script, but we're working on getting that fixed for you guys if you're having issues. So stay tuned for that, but they are actively working on it right now. But of course, you know, if you trade ES and you wanted to get something, if you're having issue with it on like the 4 hour time frame, you could look at MES, and MES 4 hour is functioning. So it's just a few time frames. So if you are having issues with that, then check other assets that might be linked to the similar one like ES or MES. But TradingView, you know, had I guess some update on some changes or something, and it ended up having a memory issue. But we're getting it fixed, so should be not too long on that. But let's kind of get into, you know, our typical overview of what the market is showing us. We do right now show a little bit of buying coming off this big sell-off this week. Honestly, let's dial it back to the weekly chart here and kind of look at where we're at. We have a 4 signal for one on the ES. I'm going to pull up the micro ES just because we can get the, well, actually the funny enough, the study is having an error on the micro ES as well on the weekly there, Mickey. But 4 hour is working. So going into this though, let's look at the, like I said, just our normal analysis on the weekly chart though, because we can tell just based on this where we might get a nice setup. But yeah, so again, later on, guys, if you do want to go over something specific, just post it in the chat there with the time frame. And please only post assets that are actually have volume that are worth looking at. So let's get into the ES here. And honestly, since we're on the weekly chart, I'm just going to go to the normal one. Right now, we're in a 4 signal. Obviously, that is the strongest of signals you can get. I have it on autopilot at the moment, but if we take off autopilot here, let's see what our sensitivity is, which is 18. See if we get a similar signal. And we're getting it right now, which is a good sign to where we might get a break of this. Why isn't it pulling up my drawing tool? But of this smart trail here, I would like to see this smart trail get broken. If that smart trail gets broken, I will look for that, you know, potential short setup. But for now, you know, we have a lower high into a signal, and the we're starting to flip on the oscillator as well. Remember, this oscillator has been in the upside range of above 50 here. It got extended, had that reversal signal right here, and it had a turning point. Honestly, if you saw those two things on a weekly chart, you probably could have taken a short here or waited for a retracement like you got there and then traded that reject. So obviously weekly, way further out, long-term based trading. But for now, we're in a massive 4 signal in this week, so very bearish. I wouldn't really look for any longs here. I would want to see, you know, a nice setup close to the week. But as you can see here, in general analysis, we can tell what we have a recent high here, right? So we had a high from before that was rejected, right? If we pull that over even more, we have some support off that level. So this level definitely has seen some action, and I would just call it the 4,300 level is what I would say. Keep it nice and easy to understand there. 4,300 here. If this week we were to close on ES above 4,300, maybe that support comes into play. Previous support, previous resistance. Could it be support again? I don't know till, you know, we have 2 days and 4 hours left. So will this week end up being support? It is possible. And then what you want to see, right, for a long-term setup on something like this, you would probably want to see this week close up over the 4,300 and then have a following week where it's a nice bullish candle like that. Then, and only then, with a turning point, maybe a signal flip. We don't know if this signal is confirmed until this week is closed. So if that were to turn over like this, have a nice little green candle, kind of like this guy or like that guy, then, you know, maybe we get a nice long setup for the 4,600 again. But so far, based on the news and everything, I wouldn't really trust it. But we do have a reset on the oscillator, so it is possible. It is possible to get a nice little move up there. But let's take a look at, you know, the next thing we always go to is gold. Let's see what we got. Addie's saying, I saw the had a large wick on odd JPY. Definitely that there's supplies in that has not been filled yet. Could you check it out? Possibly let me know where it's heading. Yeah, we'll look at that one after this. U.S. oil for sure. Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, Andreas? What's up, Michael? We'll look at, yeah, just whatever you 5-minute time frame, Netflix for sure, and then gold. Obviously, we're going to go over right now. So gold, let's just bring it back, though, to the 4-hour. Mickey, did you find any, is there any gold exchange that's working, you know, on the 4-hour? By chance?
Nah, let me look. I didn't have
Take a look, and while I'm going over gold, and if you find one, just let me know. But for now, we'll just look at this. I mean, we're in a big trend anyway, guys. So, like, being in a trend, technically, price action concept isn't as important. But let's see, the lowest time frame we can get for PAC right now, because the bug is, looks like 15-minute. 30-minute works. 30-minute is working. So here you go. We can do, though, by the way, is we can go to that 5-minute. We can load up the 4-hour order blocks if we wanted to. We just went here and said, hey, let me get that not 3-hour. Let me get those 4-hour order blocks. We can see where they are sitting, which should be good. Yeah. We got our 5-minute. Okay, cool. So we're not even anywhere close to a 4-hour order block. They're all above us right now. But for gold, let's just go back to the 4-hour and just look at it we don't need price action concepts right now and identify what might be happening. We talked about this yesterday, remember? That 1820 level was super significant. The 1800, obviously. We had a previous level here that we were looking at, right? Off of that right there. So if we were to pull back, I can't actually. So the daily, if the daily was working, there was an order block sitting at this level here that we were watching. We said, we could, go retest the low 18, but we really wanted it down a little bit lower, 1810-ish, before we considered any longs, because we want to see that support set up. Obviously, guess what? We fell off of the overflow on the sell side, which is a good sign. You can treat that as an exit signal if you are short. Notice now we're not two-tone color anymore. We're just single-toned. And the money flow is starting to flow off. So if this were to hold that support there, we'd maybe look for a nice aggressive move to the upside, and then we could get a nice little setup for the long. If we look at the 5-minute, let's see. Yeah, we'll look at NVIDIA there, Volt for sure, and Netflix. No doubt, no doubt. Look at the 5-minute here. Gold still still pretty choppy. This is a good smart trail to look for, right, on a trade. But what happened? It didn't really care about that smart trail. It broke right through it, so I wouldn't trade it. Right? If we're going to trade this smart trail, we're going to look for a retest and reject, something that shows reaction, right? But look, we have an extended price point here on the oscillator. And then now we're extending again. But look, it started to flip bullish. So if we do get an aggressive bounce on gold here off of 1820, you could get an intraday trade probably. Something where it's like, from here, the stop below that swing low, and you target, some liquidity up here that was taken. So you got 1828, you get a nice almost 3-to-1 trade. But again, we want to see some action. This is just dead volume selling off here. If we bring our sensitivity down to 12, like it tells us, we can see. What I'm going to do, though, let's just take since we're going through all these time frames, let's look at autopilot now midterm for the day. I know a lot of you guys. Yeah, Mickey's here. Benny's like asking if you're here, man. Mickey's always here. Mickey's always in here.
I'll be up next. Hold on.
Jacob and Mickey show here. Bounce off this previous support on gold, of course. This is from early this morning, 2 a.m. Bounce off that support. So could have taken that into consideration, especially with price extended here on the oscillator down there. Sorry, I'm reading. But yeah, so consolidation, not really fun to trade when it's consolidating. Let's see those trends play out. But remember yesterday, when we were saying consolidation, especially on the oscillator, when it's not potentially consolidation is when it extends, right? Price really extended here, which is good. So maybe we're setting up for that long now, but we need that volume to step back in. So gold for now. Wait to see if that breaks out. You know what? Let's just set an alert here. Maybe it'll occur when we're sitting. We're sitting here going over some charts. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is definitely showing some action. This is what we would want to set up on gold here. You got that extended higher low and then rip, right? So with the autopilot, we had a 3 signal to the downside. We just got a 2 signal, got a higher low. The only thing about this higher low is I don't like where the oscillator is sitting. Can you help with trade ideas and not hindsight analysis? Ah, for sure, man. But at first, the first little bit here, we always go over all the majors. So KB, if you want to look over some type of insight on a trade, just post it and we'll look at it. You got it, my friend. Okay, so this is what we said though. Remember, we were looking for extended, right, and then change completely. Had a lot of bearish volume here. Lower down the indicator prices. A lot of bearish trading, right? A lot of turning points. That's considered consolidation. We finally got that extended price, took that liquidity, came back, found that support, and it started to run, right? For now, that was a trade that we did look at last week, and it hit perfectly. For now, we're just kind of in a stalemate once again, holding sideways here. We want to see some volume come in on Bitcoin. But for the current intraday, there was a potential setup. Online millionaire, he knows what's up. Yeah, I mean, honestly, all you have to do is not fight what it's telling you. It's just wait around. Wait for it to tell you the right things altogether, and you should be solid, right? You want to sit back, find your strategy. You can in our Discord as well. We have a lot of people trading together using the indicators. You do get access to that when you sign up as well for free. So, Bitcoin 5-minute, was there a trade today? Yes and no. Honestly, I wouldn't have taken any of these now, just because that money flow has been sitting bullish. Now, if we were just to look at price action concepts alongside signals and overlays, we could have had a trade today, especially with something like a smart trail reject, right? We had the BOS into a change of character, right? A 3 bearish signal. That's where I would have taken my trade, especially with this flipping from a positive stance to a negative stance. So that's everything lining up without the money flow. But I do like that money flow to be bearish. But for a scalp situation, you could have taken a trade with the stop above that, previous swing point after acting as resistance, of course, and then targeted, 2 to 1, which I don't think fully hit. But noticing it being at a low, we talk about this every week. If you're trading through a low here, I would always either size down or go for that 1-to-1 first. First off, always target 1-to-1 if you're, depending on where you're entering, right? If you didn't get an entry up here, 1-to-1 is going to be better off because you have a higher risk. So once you, though, get that first leg down for that 1-to-1 take profit, you can drop this stop. And they could be like, okay, I'm going to, hold this longer, right? Then you can wait for stuff like this exit point here. You wait for little exits here because the oscillator, is having a nice downtrend. Wait for that exit or something like that. But again, it's overall, here even, you could have taken your short position off of this fourth level of confirmation. You had 1, 2, 3, and then 4 on the turn down here. You could have taken your stop above that candle high and actually hit that 2-to-1. Well, actually, that hit even more. A hit to the exit target was almost 4-to-1. So you could have hit that trade on that. So there was a potential trade set up early this morning. But again, on the reversal, not too shabby. Got a change of character. If you were to take even a Fibonacci from this low to that swing point, see, I really wouldn't be looking for this unless it continues to make that breakout. But even if you take it off the higher low, you see it didn't even retrace very much. So And with it extended, that's why I'm like, okay, this is not something I want to take a trade off this level. So if it were to properly retest like this high here, that's where on Bitcoin I'd probably look for a long is somewhere around, below this. I would say 27, right under 27.5. So that's just intraday though. So because we're just too extended. Okay, let's look at what you guys have been mentioning. We had Volt wants to look at trade analysis short NVIDIA 1 minute at 11:24. Could look into that. Today, though, I did want to go over Netflix had a beautiful 5-minute setup, and I want to show you the price action concepts on this and why it can be so helpful. Let's see if it pops up here. It should. I was looking at this earlier, actually. Hopefully we don't have any price action concepts issues. Where'd it go? Did that get liquidated on that one? I was looking at it this morning, so I know it's there. Let me see here. Somebody did say Netflix, I'm pretty sure. Where are order blocks at? Oh, sorry. I'm silly. I still have the 4-hour order blocks on here. What am I doing? Go back to chart. So we have our internal order blocks. I was wondering what was going on there. So let's just take this off, right? Take this off. We did have one print there. What I'm going to do, it should have 500, hide overlap, breakers. It did get broken here, but let's bring it back this morning. We had an order block from yesterday act as that resistance, so I'm going to take off breakers. So this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying, like, look for trade setups just off of, reaction, right? So, like, you had on Netflix here a nice short trade with this order block from yesterday. It would have hit, almost 2-to-1 on that. For those of you that trade options, that move down was 20 to 30%. But essentially, look at the actual reaction to this order block. So if you take this trade, right, off of that first reaction, you have a very short stop. You would have set it over that high. You would have hit, your 2-to-1 roughly. It was almost 2-to-1. But again, you could have targeted, this lower order block. But that lined up with this turning point ended up being a nice rejection trade. And then you even get a retracement if this will load. Now it's starting to have that data issue again. Let me just load this back to here. But again, retrace, took that high out, and now it's heading even lower to that target below. But again, identifying and having those order blocks up, guess what happened this morning? If we have, we bounced off of this spot here as well. Price opens up inside this order block and then takes off, right? So it's just, when you see that reaction, it's definitely going to tell you something that this level is significant. We'll go back over gold there. Stan, we just went over it, so we'll go over it again. But those of you on Netflix this morning opened up in this order block. If we hide overlap, we can see maybe, let's see if it even comes up with the normal. I mean, there's one that printed there, but just because we've been trading on default settings. Let's see what percentage that order block was if it was there this morning. There you go. 7%. It's not crazy high, but like we said, it reacts, right? Reaction is everything. In my opinion, the trades that you want to look for, and replay mode's struggling with this new issue, but I'm gonna bring that back up so we can see that order block from before. In my opinion, I always rather take order blocks that are from previous days in the same day, okay? So, like, as you can see here, that one broke pretty easily because it came from that same day. But this one came from a previous almost swing low there. But it bounced directly and took off right out of that. And then after that, we had a reject again off of one from what? Yes, yesterday at 12 at noon, if it'll load. There you go. Boom, reject off of that. Addy, I will get to that. You're next. So let's go back over to some Forex here. And he was saying, I don't know if you said a time frame. Did you say a time frame? And then Volt will look at your NVIDIA next. Do you have a time frame on this? Large wick, supplies in 4 hour. So hopefully the 4 hour will show up on this. I don't think it will though, because the 4 hour is the biggest struggling time frame. Yeah, it doesn't. But let's bring it down to the 5 minute, and then let's put on those 4 hour order blocks while we're waiting on this fix from TradingView to come through. So this morning, we were inside. We came out, right? We came out of a 4 hour order block. And we can even, let's hide overlaps and see what happens. So large wick. So you can find that there was a supply zone that has not been filled yet. Could you check out? Just possibly let me know where it's heading. So this morning it was in what you could say demand in general. If we look at, for the time being, I wonder if I turn off order blocks and I put on premium discounts, if it'll let me. I don't think it will. I think it's just struggling with other things. Yeah. Can I get it on the daily maybe? Let's see. Let's see. 30 minute I think was working. Maybe 30 minute will help us. There you go. So notice for one, we're in a discount zone even on a 30 minute, right? So we're in a discount zone. So I'm thinking, okay, with those 4 hour order blocks, which we'll have on here, you'll see here, boom. In a discount zone, we are retesting a demand zone, right? I mean, all of these Forexes have been selling off. All the Forex pairs have been selling off quite a bit. So we're in this discount area. This entire, when you use the discount and premium zones, I need to stop going up there. This entire area down here, which I need to freaking change that. Sorry, it's too bright. This entire area down here is part of that discount zone. Okay, it's not just this low. It's everything below that equilibrium that's been marked. So if you're within that order block down here, these are 4 hour order blocks. These aren't 30 minute order blocks. If you're in that order block, like Mickey's strategy, you go in, lower time frame, you trade when we exit, right? You trade on exits. We're inside exit here. Look at that trade with a break of structure. Boom, had a trade there. We re-enter. We exit again. Boom. Had a trade there. We retouch. We exit again. Boom. Had a trade there. We retouch. Exit again. Boom. We had a trade there. We didn't read. Actually, we kind of tapped it. We tapped it again. Boom. Exit. Had a trade there. I mean, you literally had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successful trades off of just exiting this order block, right? Don't worry about trading inside of it. Wait till it exits. Had a trade, had a trade, had a trade. We had 5 in a row. 5 winners in a row would have been there. So as of now with this pair, it was in this 5 minute premium. So with a lower high, right? What am I drawing? This is a lower high. Here's your high. Here's your resistance forming. Lower high. I'm not liking this to bounce and continue higher. We've rejected several times. We set that lower high. More than likely, we might test this block and finally break through it because what? We had an entry, exit, entry, exit, entry, exit, entry, exit. So doing it that many times, I'm not a big fan. I would just say this is probably heading lower for now. But we are also in consolidation. So, I would say wait for it to either retest this low around 94 or break out of this high around 94.4. So those are 2 levels you want to watch for potential opportunity again. And then, like Mickey always says, wait for the exits of these order blocks. And, I mean, you can see why he says that because it played out 5 times here. So if it goes in that order block, that's like a no-go, no trade zone. Exits, potential opportunity. But considering that it happened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you think it's going to happen a 6th time? Well, your odds are now stacked against you. So, yes. The study, we addressed this earlier. Eduardo, the TradingView released some type of memory update or something got messed up. And for the higher time frames, like 4 hours, there is a study error as of now. But we are actively working on it. So just stay tuned for that to be changed. It will be fixed. Don't worry about it. But for now, what I just went over is like 30 minute. It's showing up. I can go in. I can put on the 4 hour order blocks if I want to see 4 hour order blocks. But for now, the 4 hour is not having some memory issue that it was caused by TradingView. So we can go over the Euro USD for sure. If you guys have any time frames you want to look at, we can. Let's take a look now. Somebody said NVIDIA earlier. I think it was Volt. Yeah, NVIDIA 1 minute. You got it. Let's look at the NVIDIA 1 minute. And then let me pull up. Is order box gonna show up? Oh wait, hold on. We have 4-hour order blocks on. Let me put it back on chart. Let me get rid of premium discount. All right. I'm gonna hide overlap because we are on the 1 minute. There's probably gonna be a lot more. So, 1 minute chart. What do you guys see? Because I see something pretty awesome. Where is the high of day, right, on NVIDIA? Oh, my goodness. It's right up here against what? A order block. Now, I show all the order blocks, but this is a 1% order block only because I have 500 showing, but because I want to see them all. But again, we don't care right now about that percentage. We care about the reaction. We had 2 reactions off this exact same level that came from a previous pivot high. Reaction 1 and 2. Well, you know, if you are an options trader and you took a short off the second intake here, you had an almost 1% $4 move to the downside. That probably would have generated about 100% profit, more than likely. But let's look at the 5 minute now. See if that order block popped up on the 5 minute as well. And that's can be an indication of why you might want to have several up. We'll take off hide overview and everything. But for the 1 minute there, and there you go. Hide overlap. I took that off. And okay, let me explain. This is exactly why the hide overlap button might get in your way. All right, so default has hide overlap checked off. Now, obviously, hide overlap can get really obnoxious. You can have a ton. You can have a ton of different. You can have a ton of different order blocks stacked on top of each other. But like, what is that telling you? It's telling you that level is clearly significant. So if I uncheck that hide overlap, this is where I'm going to possibly see levels that I don't, have on my chart when it's on the default settings. So take off hide overlap, up the order blocks so you can see all the previous order blocks. And if you want breaker blocks, you can check that box as well. But again here, what do we got? You tell me if these order blocks are working here. Are those order blocks working? I mean, you had 1, 2, 3, and it rejected 4 times here. This was from late this morning. This is all today. Reject, first reject, bounce, rejects again, right back down. You could have had 1, 2, 3 out of 3 profitable trades today just off these order blocks. So again, it's one of those things where right now, you in this short on the 1 minute, you're approaching that next order block level, which was sitting right here at 435. That's where I would target. Here's the middle of the order block, 435.50. The low is 435. I would target anywhere between 435.50 and 430, or sorry, just 435 straight up. And notice the oscillator is extending, so you're getting to that point where if you're in a day trade, obviously because you're on the 1 minute, you're in a day trade, you're probably gonna look to exit here very soon. So let's go over now. I'm going down the list, guys. People posting stuff now on what to go over. I will get to very shortly. Next up, though, let's see. Matic USDT. Was that the first one? Yeah, I think so. Someone said USO USD. Let's look at that. Get that spot crude oil. He said what? Super extended on the 5 minute. Yes. Massive sell-off today. I think there was news driving this. Obviously, crude oil has been extremely oversold or overbought. I mean, I'm not making this up, guys. I literally just pulled it onto the daily chart and look exactly what's happening. This just keeps happening. This is why these order blocks and having them all up is so important. Like, you just told me that I don't even look at this one. This is not a ticker that I look at. And this is why I'm explaining these order blocks are so important especially when you get reaction. It's all about reaction. Don't blindly go in and say, hey, like on this candle here, on this one, I'm sitting here going, okay, I'm going to short this. Well, no, because this thing is breaking structure to the upside, and it's just been super, bullish, right? I wait for that reaction. Boom. Well, guess what? With this reaction here, if I can go back now, there we go. With this reaction here, I have a very low risk to reward, right? If I were to take a short off that low, stop at the high, I have a very low risk to reward. Okay. Now, that's because I got a reaction there. What else is telling me this might be a high? Well, guess what? You have a nice extended reversal signal. You have a turning point that's way almost 92% on the overbought level. You have another turning point right here that happened right after it, even if you would have waited. But again, all of these signs are pointing to a short. Now, I do tell you a lot, especially if you are a trend trader, wait for everything to line up. If you want to catch the trend, wait for everything to line up. But when it comes to something like spotting reversals, this is what you want to look for. You want to look for areas in which you see reaction. And those order blocks are the first thing that's going to help. Notice 16%. It's not extremely high, but it is higher than a lot of what you're seeing here. 30%, much higher. 15% is lower, obviously, than 16. But again, here, up enters that order block on the daily, and then it leaves that order block on the daily. Beautiful short off that reject there. If you would have seen that early on, I mean that is incredible. Here though, on the 5-minute, massive sell-off, like you said. BOS, 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 BOS. In my opinion, you want to see now, because if you want to see a trend change, we need to see a change of character to the bull side. We want to see a chotch that's bullish like this, chotch plus, or just a regular chotch like that. So after having this massive sell-off, let's get that chotch before we enter long. There's no reason to be entering long. Even if it bounces off like one of these 2% order blocks, because of how aggressive this trend is, I wouldn't enter long, right? So unless it's approaching, higher time frame order blocks, which I don't think it's going to load on this one. But again, really look into, these order blocks and what they're telling you, because they can really be significant price levels to be trading off of. Let's see here. Next up, somebody said Ethereum, I think. Sol. Someone said Sol. Let me see if USO, and then we said Matic USDT, 1 week time frame. Let's look at. Do we want to look at? Oh, look at Binance. Should have the. Let's look at the weekly. Hopefully, it's working on the weekly. I don't think it will be though. It is. Nice. Nice, sweet. We're getting lucky on these. I think some of these just because of the lower volume. All right, Matic. I mean, we're in no man's land. This level is nothing. Right? You have so much room to the downside still to 31. Obviously, we're extended, right? Extending on the sell, but this is crypto we're talking about, right? So in order for something to show, if we're looking at the weekly here, which is what he said, I think. Somebody asked, weekly chart, I think. Yeah, Matic, you see 1 week time frame. So Matic 1 week time frame. I don't like it. This is not a level to buy unless you're like one of those guys that wants to buy and hold for the longest time. You are technically in a discount zone, but why not wait until you get a lower price, right? If you want to long this, yes, I honestly, ABC, I rather look short because that's what's being said. That's what's telling me. If, though, this was a long situation, first off, you want to break this structure. You're in this downtrend already. I mean, that's pretty obvious. But we have a BOS, right? We do have a BOS on the weekly, if this will let me draw. We have a BOS to downside of weekly. Again, I want to see that change of character before considering any long trade. Otherwise, let's just retrace back down here, right? Look at this. Look at this number. 9.167 billion volume, right? At this 2857 level off that low. Well, guess what else happened? We had a bounce similar to that too right there. So if you want to actually long this, I'd probably wait to see for this area to be, retested. But for now, no. This thing, I would say, yeah, lower for sure. 4 hour. I don't think the order box will show up. Yeah, that 4 hour has always been struggling. If we go to the 15-minute, let's put on those 4 hour order blocks and see. What are we in here? Putting on the 4 hour order blocks on the 15-minute. See if we had any. There you go. I mean, we're not making this up. I'm not just sitting here saying, like, just drawing this and saying, oh, look, this would have been a level to trade off. I mean, we've gone through 5 examples now where it's shown you what reacting to an order block does, right? You enter this order block right here for 2 seconds, and then you exit, and you have a setup. You don't even touch it here on the 4 hour order block, and then you just have this massive move. Like, this is not, like, here, the order block did form on this amount of candles here, so this wouldn't be a trade. You probably wouldn't see it there. You shouldn't see it there, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're just like, this is how crazy it's about to be. There might be another order block. So there you go. So that set of candles formed that previous order block, but again, we approached it, we reacted off of it twice, and then you had a mega move. And this is the 15-minute. If you were to take it along off this second one, had your stop, below this low here, like, let's just move to the high. Why not? Just like the high point. I mean, you had a 5-to-1 move. Insane. But again, that's what I mean. These order blocks. That's why we talk about them so much. They're just there. They're just blindly sitting there waiting for you to look at them. Like, don't even ignore them. Just watch them. It's gonna change a lot. Let's look at the next one. Somebody said Matic. We just did Matic here. Sol. Let's look at SOL. I know you guys love Sol. Let's look at it on Coinbase. Probably the highest volume. So let's just do the 15-minute, 4-hour order block here. And guess what? Do you see any order blocks we're bouncing off of? Nope. And make sure we got all the settings still the same, I think. Yeah, 4 hours. Okay, cool. Do we see a 4-hour order block anywhere around here? Absolutely not. Do we see that there are a lot of it's up here? Absolutely. So, liquidity is probably still sitting there waiting to be filled. But again, this is another no man's land type situation, right? If we go to, let's say, the week. Let's go to the daily. See if it'll load the blocks, and it does. Daily. Show the chart. True. I don't even know why I haven't even put in. You're right. I don't even know why I'm not having this in either. I was just going over that because I was just too ecstatic over the order blocks just like being the perfect recent trades. Like, my goodness. But why not have them all on here? I'm just showing you what I use, and a lot of it's price action concept, but it depends on whether the market's trending or not. Because of Bitcoin, a lot of time, or because of crypto, a lot of times it's not trending, and you have a lot of trades sideways. But you're right, Brendan. Let's keep up. We'll keep up signals and overlays as well. Got that 3 signal with that reject though on Sol on the daily. Tested the order block, rejected. It's heading lower now, and we're extended, right? And extended. You see the money flow did flip. So guess what? What do I think here? I think we are setting up for a bullish run on Sol. Why? We had a massive downtrend that was going on for, this is the daily chart, since July, right? Money flow was bearish. All of the price was bearish. Notice this was all on the downside. We extended one last time. We set our first higher low. We shot off of it, right? If this trend were to flip, we need that retracement. We rejected off that order block. Fantastic. Let's get that retracement somewhere around the 21 price 21 to 20 price, that would be a good range because you have that previous resistance there. That's where the change of character is sitting. If we get that retracement, I bet you it's close to this as well. And look at that. Wow. Holy Fibonacci levels. He's an expert trader. Look at this. It's not that complicated. Look at him. I'm making Mickey laugh now. I love it. Oh my goodness. Right here. Golden pocket. Where is it sitting? Previous resistance. What else is happening? Money flow switch after the bears. This is going to retrace if it hits that golden pocket. Even the 50 level, I'd probably look for a trade. So there you go. I would wait for 21 if you were to long off Sol, but so far Sol looks like it could have a bullish run. But let's move on to the next one now. Somebody, let's see here. Amazon, NQ, the Euro USD, I think was the next one. Wait, no, NQ. Again, NQ is next. People that want NQ, is there a time frame? Or are we just looking at a general thing like we've been doing? You show up on NQ, please. Daily chart. Let's just go to the 5-minute because I'm feeling it. We feeling it today. We have our 4-hour order blocks. Okay, well, here you go. You tell me. 4-hour order block, exit, trade. All right, nice little pop there. That'd probably been 2 to 1. Enter the order block. We exited here. Guess what? You had your first failed trade there. Exited there, failed trade. But look, exit here, boom. You tell me if that's failed trade. Massive move. So again, it's like, why don't we just do something like this? Now, Brendan talking about using the signals and overlays. Well, here you go. This is why you use the signals and overlays, right? Why would I enter a trade on the breakout of this order block if we're still in this bearish smart trail, in a bearish signal? Candles are red. Screw that. I'm not doing that. So forget this trade. Forget that trade. Forget that trade there. Here, I would have attempted probably my first trade. Why? Had the change of character. We exited the order block. Had a 2 signal. That would have failed, right? Broke that low. But then we would have waited. What if we took it again? Tried it one more time? Well, guess what? Taking that entry would have hit you into this massive uptrend on the 5-minute here on the NASDAQ. So taking a trade like this, maybe lower order block here. We target 2 to 1. That was at 212 points. For, this is an idea for, longer traders, longer term traders. If we would have gone to, longer swing traders. If we would have gone to this though, the 15-minute, which is usually pretty solid for, it's a lot better than a 5-minute for 4-hour order blocks. It's 4 hours way higher time frame, right? You probably would have got a better setup, which you exactly what happened. You exited here. You had a retracement. You had a bounce. I would have taken entry right off this guy after this exit on this. You flip, boom, big trade. Let's go down to the 5-minute, though. Let's swap those order blocks to the chart time frame on the 5-minute, see if we had anything crazy. Today, let's see at open here. Where's open? 9:30. Where you at? Oh, there you go. Open. Any order blocks that were significant that we would have looked at. So there's nothing, right? Have this trade move, bounce off the smart trail, flip flap back and forth, bounced again off the smart trail. This here, let me show you difference between taking, maybe here versus here, right? Here, it did bounce off right here, but look, what's happening down here on this candle? You got a red smart trail and no turning point, right? Okay, 3 signal, retrace. You get your bullish turning point right here, right? And then you get your move. So happening above, or you wait for money flow to flip. Then you get your small little move there. This is the 5-minute time frame, though. I wouldn't consider, when you see this many signals, I probably wouldn't consider trading any of it. But if you were, it's about that reaction, right? This broke below. This bounced right off of it. That's way cleaner. Just wait for it to be clean. There's no reason to sit around and say, hey, oh, that bounced. It did break below that low, and then it bounced. Then it broke and then it broke back, and then this one actually reacted off of that with the money flow and everything sitting right at the 50. Benny wanted the 15-minute. Benny, did you say 50-minute on the NASDAQ, or was it something else? Go that 15-minute. I got about 10 more minutes, or 13 minutes. Kept me out of trouble a few times. Yes, oscillator will keep you out of trouble big time. But yeah, 15-minute. This is where, even though the oscillator is extended here, you could wait for that retrace, something like this, you know, and taking the trade. But like, you have to look at, you know, where it's at beforehand. It's like this massive amount of selling that occurred. You came out of that 4-hour order block. You had that bounce like we showed you. And that's right when the money flow flipped. And guess what? It was breaking threshold. So everything, this is where, you know, we talk about this every day, every time we stream. We say, what outweighs the pros or the cons in this situation? The only con in this situation was the oscillator overextended, right? But in my opinion, seeing money flow breaking threshold and going into overflow, I probably would take along, so long as everything else is lined up. So that 4-hour order block was lined up, the 2 signal was lined up, the change of character after BOS was lined up, and the bounce reaction off that 4-hour order block. For those of you that just joined the stream, I'm talking about this order block right here. Exiting it. And you'll see, boom, exit that 4-hour order block, bounce there. Everything lined up, but this guy, but the oscillator being extended. But again, we knew we were in a massive sell-off. We knew if we had a first initial move, it probably would extend. But everything else lined up. Our risk to reward could have been lower because of that. Still a potential trade opportunity, and it ended up paying off very nicely. All right, let's move on to the next one. Somebody said Amazon, I think. Amazon and then Tesla. Sorry, I'm reading your comments. Let's go to Amazon. Somebody said a specific time frame. I don't remember. Amazon. We had a few people ask. Any time frame on Amazon? For day trading, I would say 5 to 15 minute. You're day trading. You're going to see all the intraday price action. Amazon 5-minute today, absolutely no trade whatsoever. I wouldn't trade this. Not really a way to spot this gap up. I mean, you're just super bearish all day long, standing it sideways. This would just destroy any option contract. So that's, I mean, if we were to look at the daily though, for a longer term, we might get lucky on this side. And bring them order blocks back. Give me that chart order block. Bam. Still in that order block. Or what we said, it reacted off here. Now it's retesting it again. Well, guess what? On the daily, price is still within that order block. I would want to see it close outside. We talked about this yesterday. It did gap up. Today, though, we got 2 hours left. See if it closes outside of it. If it does, maybe up a possibility. Got that turning point here from 2 days ago. But look at the money flow. It's breaking threshold. It's just honestly not a great time to be taking any longs or shorts. But here you can see that technically it doesn't really care that it got bought up today. It's just sitting there. So, you know, they're trying to hold it up a little bit, but they're also trying to keep it down. So, like, what are you going to do? It's still a waiting game on Amazon. Tesla's like ES and some of these others that are just real fun day trading opportunities on Tesla. Doesn't range a whole lot. You can see that it ranged here, but look the way it ranged. You have big swing highs and big swing lows, right? It has these impulse moves, so those can generate a nice bit of profit if you do day trade options. In this case, let's do the 4-hour order block one time. Let's do it again. I keep clicking the wrong dashboard. Give me that 4 hour. Where you at? Got about 8 minutes here. And Mickey, what do you see? I mean, it's like
I see some tips and
we
tricks
don't
coming.
we don't make this up, man. We just don't make this up. It's like it's just honestly, it's gold. Hey, 4 hours working on this. I mean, that's just
If you take away the 4-hour order blocks, my life is over.
right.
Okay?
We don't make this up. So first off, retracement bounce off this one, 45 mil. Right, but look, we noticed this guy. I mean, it just beautifully was executed outside of this today. The minute it came out of that, it just a massive move. I have no words. That's pretty awesome. Let me go back down though, see if there's any intraday blocks to be traded. Just because I don't. There might have been one. There you go. Had a lot sitting up here. Now this is where you could have the breaker blocks in play. Right. Well, if it'll render out, if it'll load for us. See if it does, because you'll probably see. There it goes. There you go. There's your retracement on a breaker, and it moves. So this is where I say, the overlays can get very obnoxious, right? This is what we were talking about. But at the beginning of the day, seeing all of this can really help. And this is why, sometimes breakers aren't worth having up. Right there, it's a lot cleaner with it out. But essentially, let's go over though a failed rejection. I saw that. I'm gonna take off signals and overlays for now. I mean, not necessarily a failed rejection, but we did have a opportunity here. So here you go. Let me see if this actually pops up within the non-overlays as well. There you go. Okay, cool. So this is a non-overlay. So we look, what we were saying earlier, watch for the reaction off of these levels, right? Well, here's a failed one. We can look at, why it potentially might have failed and what to do. The reason why we say, why I say, if you were to take a trade off of a reaction like this, okay, you wait for a first initial probably move like this. All you do is put your stop above that high. It's a very low risk. So even there, you probably would have turned a little bit of profit, but look at it flip back. The minute I see something like this, why would I continue to hold my position? There's no reason to hold my position here. That's very aggressive buying volume. So I can even identify, because my risk was so low off that order block originally, I can identify this candle here is probably going to hit my stop. So I would just close out early. And even then, it had a reject once again before it broke out. So obviously with any strategy, it's not always 100%, but this is why we always say stuff like, look at higher time frame order blocks, because in this case, that 4-hour order block could have told us, okay, this is probably a bullish day. We might be breaking out of this range. For one, because this level already on Tesla was significant, right? It already rejected that same level. So seeing that rejection off that swing high there, maybe today's the day that it breaks out. So this is why, probably the first thing you want to do is look at the higher time frame order blocks, see where they're sitting, what they look like. Jack with the 4-hour order block believer. We got another follower. Let's see. I have about 4 minutes here. Then Mickey's going to come back in and show us some more 4-hour order blocks.
I know, it's a secret vault.
Right. Let's see here. Someone else mentions. Let's see. Actually, let me just pull it back a little bit. I don't think we look at the daily on Tesla here. I mean, price action is pretty gold on this. What happened to my order blocks? Oh, I had a 4-hour. Let's go to the chart. Boom. Okay. I mean, That's actually pretty crazy. What in the world? Okay, well, that level clearly was a significant price level. It just so happened to bounce perfectly off of it. There you go. Bounces off of that. You had your runner. In my opinion here, I probably would have waited until like a turning point with the decrease, or just a signal in general. Or honestly, this is what I would look for, is a higher low right here. This is where I would have taken probably a trade on this. But man, I mean, this is why you have the order blocks up. It's just waiting for those reactions is insane. Tesla right now, it is in a conflicting trend, right? You have that downtrend that did get broken here on this change of character. We have that Chach Plus. We are in this really wonky, right, smart trail. So that's indicating, we still might be a little bearish, right? Might be a little bearish. We might be consolidating. But I would like to break out of that. If we were to say, hey, let's ignore that. Let's see where price technically might be heading as of now. The biggest thing I like is the oscillator at the 50 level right now. Okay, I don't like that there's a lower high. I'd probably want that lower high to be broken before actually considering a continuation of this trend. But it is following that trend. I would say wait till we get over 280 for then a trade into the 300 plus. But if we do get a bearish change of character, this is a weekly chart. What am I thinking? This is a weekly chart. If we do get a bearish change of character down here on the weekly, then I think we go retest one of these, that order block there, this one there, on Tesla. Let's look at one more before my time's up. But here you go. Daily chart doesn't look too shabby either for actually an upside. Let's do ADA USD. I think that was one of the last ones. Obviously, you guys have mentioned recent ones, but I'm gonna let Mickey take over here in a sec. I appreciate the love for some of you guys posting comments. Yeah, let's do ADA USD in the daily time frame. That was one that was mentioned. Are we still here for ADA? Whoever's here, whoever mentioned it. Gynus, however you pronounce your name. All right. So daily time frame in the current moment is, let's see here. I will say, wow, that had a nice reject up there. For now, the only thing I don't like, make sure we're on the chart here. We do have high to overlap on. Let's just do this little guy. There you go. I had a feeling that there was an order block there. Okay. So first off, we are currently in or breaking, or I'm confusing myself. We're bouncing off a current order block. We are in a discount zone. Well, that's pretty obvious because of how high price was, right? So bouncing off this order block here, which is very good. It's the first thing we do want to see. I'm going to take off the discount zones. We are bouncing off this order block, and we do have a setup for me, actually. We have a BOS, right? Several BOSs. I do like to see multiple a lot. We have a change of character. If I were you, as of now, I would wait for a signal. So I want to see a signal like this, like a 2 or a 3. I would say a 2 or a 3 to form somewhere over here in the 25, 26, 27 level. It's probably going to be when it breaks out, if it breaks out of this high. But what's going to happen is, the reason I like this potentially for long is, for one, we have that change character after several BOSs. We have the bounce off this daily order block from back in December. Crazy. You have divergence that's been setting up here on the oscillator. It's been in a bearish sentiment for a while. So what's going to happen is, so long as we get a signal, the oscillator is going to come reset down here, just like we like it. It's going to turn bullish. if this thing bounces off that smart trail, you can get a signal somewhere around here. And then once you get that signal set up with the oscillator set up and it's reset down here, you get a bullish turning point somewhere in 27, 26 range. Honestly, anything below 30, if you get something like that, maybe below 29 actually. So somewhere below 29, if you get a signal to the upside, you get some volume, then I would target these order blocks first, 31 to 32. And then after that, you do have another one sitting up here at the 38 level. So for now, this level is a potential buying opportunity so long as you get that signal and you get the oscillator to flip to bullish. So it is setting up to where you're going to probably see, if I can find it, here you go, something like this. You want to see the money flow just get switched and then the oscillator stays up, right? So in my opinion, look for that signal. Probably going to happen above 26, or maybe that if it has a BOS above 27, and you can target the mid 30s or higher. But for now, I would wait for that setup and get some volume in here. But this level is very significant there. As you can see, we bounced off it before. It busted down here, hit a low of 23 or something. So let me 23, yep. And it targeted again, bounced again. So I think that's where we're gonna leave it. Somebody said the 4-hour order block might be working now. Let's see on ES if it is. Yeah, so there's still some of them do work. Like I said, like you saw on Tesla, I think 4-hour worked. Yeah, so stocks seem to be working just fine.
Yeah, it looks good. Just add it to your chart. Looks good.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. So if you want to go ahead and share up there, Mickey, we're going to transfer it over to him. He's going to go over some stuff. But those of you guys, while he's doing that, if you are having issues with PIC today, we have the known issue. We do know, and we're trying to work on fixing it. It is a trading view issue, though. We think they updated something, and it kind of messed up some of the data limits. So we are currently looking into it. So stay tuned and know that we're always on it. We always got your back, so don't worry. And then, yeah, Mickey, you ready? Get that stream up, boy.
Yeah.
ES today. I wonder if there was the 4-hour looks solid. ES a little choppy today. Nothing too crazy on the trades. Actually, I did take a short up here earlier today, and I got stopped, which was annoying. It got me. It stopped hunting me. I took a short right here off this guy, and I had my stop right above that high there. I was gonna target 2-to-1, which is 14 points. It would have hit. Oh, what a bummer, man. So there you go. There's that stop hunt. Not much you can do about that, right? So all good. It's all part of trading, right? You have losers and you have winners. It's so long as your winners are bigger. That's why you keep your risk to reward the right way. All right, you ready there, Mickey?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and drop my chart. Now Mickey's up, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for listening.
All right, here we go. A little bit different today, right? Here is my dollar index 4-hour chart with a neo cloud. Okay, let's go over the settings real quick. Here we go. I have signal mode, confirmation exits. I have turned on AI signal classifier showing all 4 values. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Signals, let's turn off the autopilot. I'm going to show you. And I am going to use the signal sensitivity. Dashboard indicates a number 11. We'll just bring this down to number 11. Okay. Give it a second. Now it's showing all the values here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. If I want to show the values, if I want to filter them out, let's say this is a neo cloud. I want to show all the AI signals in the direction of the Neo cloud, I can just turn on the presets and pre-filters up here, right? Pull down menu, go all the way down to Neo cloud, okay? Now it's showing only the signals in the direction of the Neo cloud. Let me turn off this the symbol here for a little bit. Canvas watermark. There you go. Okay. Now let's say we have 2 3s here. You know, let's scan a little bit. We have 3s and we have a 1 here. Okay, good example. Let's say I want to show the stronger AI values in the direction of the Neo cloud. Okay, so I already have the filter Neo cloud already enabled. Okay, now I need to adjust it to show the stronger AI values. All right, so for me, I am going to classify the number 3 and number 4 as the values I want to show on my chart. So we go down here in settings, we only type in 3 and 4. Okay. Give it a second. There you go. So my settings as of right now, using optimal sensitivity number 11, Neo Cloud enabled, and I only want to show AI signals of 3 and 4 in the direction of the Neo Cloud. It's not 100%, but it gives me, in my opinion, the highest probability of being safe in a trade. Okay, so here's a 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 in the direction of the Neo Cloud. We have some potential exits here. Blue X. Let's enlarge that so you can see that on the screen, right? These are potential reversals, potentials take profits, and potential close out the trade, go home, you're done for the day. Okay? Now we've been going over a lot of new features lately, and I want to go over this bad boy here. Right here. Oscillator matrix. Okay? We're concentrating on other things and whatnot, but I just want to what is that? I just want to bring it home. Remind everyone on the core feature of my chart. The feature that helps me with my trade management, exits and entries, which is the oscillator matrix, right?
Did everybody in America just get the national alert on their phones?
We did. You know, do or die. If you're in school
Isn't
or
that
wherever,
weird?
it's going off. We're getting ready, I think.
Think about it, the
Anyway.
amount of phones that just went off. That's wild.
Yeah. Now we got to recharge everyone's phones now. Now we're going to have a power outage.
They're watching me.
Anyway, trade management. I want to hit this home. Trade management. I use the oscillator matrix to help me fine-tune my entry, and fine-tune my exits. I need a clue. I need a reason to close out. Okay? Let's switch it over to another chart and I can demonstrate. Okay? Here's the dollar index.
Buddy.
I know, right? Blood. Kind of like this. Take a look at that. All right? I have separated the core features separately on this chart, okay? This is the money flow, all right? This is a longer term kind of feature, right? It will support my decision in my entries. It will support the what do you call it? The hyperwave turning points, right? The turning points are very reactive. That helps me pinpoint my entries but you can't take every single turning point. You will get chopped out. So what you need to do is overlay the money flow, the smart money flow, and the overflow, and the thresholds with the turning points. Okay, here's an example. Let's say I have turning point up here, turning point down, right? And I have a turning point up here, and I have a turning point down, turning point up here, right? Excuse my drawings, and let's draw the paths, okay? Turning point, boom, 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 boom. Okay? On the surface, we want to take turning points in the oversold areas if we want to go long, right? Here's a turning point below the 50 level, all right? Let's give it a good shot. Go long, go long. But you don't want to take each one blindly. Take a look at the money flow, okay? I don't want to take the turning point up right now, all right? Just like Jacob says, he wants to see a reset of the matrix. What does he mean by reset? All right, here is the first turning point up, all right? But the money flow is still bearish. Now it goes up, we wait, right? Turning point down. You may want to take this turning point down because this was a reset from this point down. This is the breakdown. This is the first breakdown, right? Break up. Now this is a reset to take a short. Okay, same thing over here. Bullish. Bullish turning point up. We wait. Turning point down. Here is a turning point up. This is the reset in confluence of the money flow. And this is where we take our entry. I hope that makes sense. Now let's overlay the turning points. Here is the turning point. There's the turning point. Okay. Here are the resets from here to here, right? Those are the resets, turning points. Here is a major reset. That's a big one. All right, look how oversold this area is. Let's put the cursor on. 24. That's pretty low, right? Now let's put this together, right? I know the matrix can be confusing when you add it to your chart, especially if you have your main chart, right? You're kind of like, what is going on here? I'm going to go back to the MACD, stochastics looks better. You really don't, right? If you just visualize in your brain, in your head, separately, and you add them up together in your head, now you've learned, right? You've learned to read this on its own. There you go. All right. Turning point up. This is the turning point up I mentioned not to take. We need a reset. Have it retrace back up while the money flow is still bearish. Here's your turning point down. Have it come back down, right? Now here is your reset that Jacob was mentioning about. Money flow is bullish. Now you're taking the turning points up for the highest probability in trades. Look at this. Yes, you could blindly take each turning point up while the money flow is bullish. Yes, you can do that, right? But we can further filter out these signals, right? Using price action, right? Using signals and overlays, using the candle coloring. Huh? There you go. Candle coloring, smart trail, trend tracer, whatever that suits you, whatever that fits your style, right? So that is how I use the oscillator matrix. I don't use the out-of-the-box MACD anymore, RSI, stochastics, everything is in there. And guess what? We can also turn this on, right? Where are we? Confluence meter, okay? Take a look at this meter, right? That's what I'm looking at. As price moves during the ebb and flow, this little arrow is going to go up and down. It's kind of like a mini dashboard, right? If you're like in the heat of the moment, right, and you're trying to analyze this, look to the right real quick to figure out where you are, right? This is what else we can do. We can actually make this a little bit thicker for the eyes, right? Ain't that neat? There you go. Okay, so that is the oscillator matrix. Hopefully that helps. Okay, let's switch over to 4-hour order blocks, right? I can never do a live without talking about that. There you go. NASDAQ. Mini NQ seems like a very popular symbol these days, okay? This is a 4-hour chart with 4-hour order blocks and some fair value gaps. Look at this move. Hits the 4-hour, fills the gap. Beautiful, all right? But that's not the play I'm talking about. My rule is I want to take the trades when price exits a 4-hour order block or rejects a 4-hour order block. That's my rule. I don't want to trade in these gray blocks. All right, that's a rule, and I'm gonna focus on that. You can make any rule. Here's an example. I do not want to trade Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I only want to trade Wednesday. So if you concentrate on Wednesday, guess what? You've just eliminated all those days, and now you are super focused on that one day, right? So this is what I did on this chart, right? I disabled all the other features, and I just want to focus on one rule, which is the 4-hour order block. You can focus on a different rule. You can focus on fair value gaps. That's it. Turn everything off. So if you just focus on one concept, you're going to be an expert at that concept, right? And once you're an expert at that one concept, start adding other concepts. And guess what? Now you have a full-fledged market structure strategy chart that you can call your own, right? So what I've done was I started with a 4-hour order block, right? I wanted to create my own, SMC market structure chart. And guess what? I stopped right there. It's good enough for me. 4-hour order blocks, right? So let's take a look at this trade. Let's get my drawing tool out. Here is the move, right? Happened past couple days, right? That's not good. Let's take off the magnet. Okay. Price pierces into the 4-hour order block, right? Rejects. This 4-hour order block was created September 27th, or a couple days after that, right in here, right? Now let's bring this down to a lower time frame so I can scalp this going up, right? It's a reject. These are the two paths I was looking at. The two paths. Here's path 1, going for longs. Here is path 2. Going short. That's all. I am not guessing, right? I am not fading an entry, right? I am just waiting for a path. You tell me which road you're going to take. I'm going to follow you, right? So price took the long path. Let's go down to a lower time frame. Let's do 5 minutes. Seems to me that that's the big rage in the room, right? So let's delete these stats. Here is the 4-hour order block. Okay. Here was the path. Right? That was on the 4-hour chart. Okay. That's the path. Okay. So where's my entry? Here is this gray block right here is the 4-hour threshold, upper limits. Once price is coming near or crosses outside of the 4-hour order block, I am looking for an entry. Okay. So what's my strategy to entry? Well, that is up to you. You can use a signals overlay chart, lower time frame, right? Use Smart Trail or NeoCloud, whatever you want. You can use a price action concepts, market structure break to the upside, right? Here's an example. Here's a perfect example. Let's get rid of these arrows. All right. Here's a change of character. Change of character to the upside, a bullish that occurred inside a 4-hour order block. Look at the measured moves going up. Break of support, right? Now it busts through. It came out of the 4-hour order block. You can take this if you want, put a limit order buy. More than likely you'll be safe, all right? Or why don't you create a rule? Wait for the next. Why don't we wait for the next market structure break to the upside? There's another BOS. There's another break of structure, right? Or you could say, why don't we use the highs and lows, the fractals? Let me pinpoint my entries even further. Sure, with price action concepts, you can still do that. There's no need to add another indicator to this chart. Let's head over to the settings. All right. I can turn off the internal market structures. All right. Head over to style, turn on the highs and lows. Okay. Now we're really pinpointing the micro moves. Higher lows, right? Here's a lower low. You may not take this. If you understand, the ebb and flow, ABC waves, and the market structure, you may not take this because this broke the previous high low. So you may need to wait for a reset. What do you mean by reset? Wait for price action to break this higher high. And once it makes another higher low, you're off to the races. After this higher low, you're waiting for this candle to print this higher low, which would have been somewhere around here, okay? Which is the exact same spot as this order block that is currently forming, all right? Let's just say you're late, you woke up late and you saw this move. Okay, this order block's formed. Why don't we wait for the retest of this order block to jump on board? Why don't we wait for the retest? Here's a higher high, here's a higher low. Boom, you're off to the races, right? Winner, winner, chicken dinner, right? So that is how I trade my 4-hour order blocks. One more example, and I'll kick this back to Jacob there, so we can go over some details for you with our Lux Algo website there. I think last night or early today, I think it was last night, I mentioned in the VIP room that November 6th is the day I marked on my calendar. Why November 6th? Because November 6th is the day I am going to trade nat gas, natural gas futures, right? That is the day that they're going to introduce the micro futures of natural gas. Well, I could trade natural gas right now, but you know what? I like micros sometimes because it's a lot safer for my pocketbook, right? It's the same instrument. It's just 1/10 of the size. They're going to finally introduce this on November 6th, okay? And I'm going to show you why, right? Let me visually show you why I'm moving over towards this instrument a little bit, okay? Here is nat gas signals overlays. Pretty nice moves, right? All in all, nice moves. It's okay, right? This is on the 15-minute. Bear in mind, this is on a lower time frame. For nat gas, I am going to scalp this on a lower time frame. Okay? Pretty nice. What I like about nat gas is, right? It tends to move. It tends to wake up during London, midday London, right before New York, maybe an hour or two before New York, right? For those of you that you have time constraints wherever you live, or let's just say you have a full-time job, wherever here's a time frame. London, right? London. All right, let me overlay some sessions, right? Take a look at London's. Look at the London is the blue box. Take a look at London. London. Right? London. Look at this. London. London, right? For some reason, London loves natural gas. Guess what? I love London too. All right? I can still scalp this with my 4-hour order block, right? Here's nat gas, 4-hour order blocks. Let's head lower. As I mentioned, nat gas, I am going to scalp this on a lower time frame because it moves so much smoother. But guess what? There's give and take, but it moves so much slower. So keep that in mind, okay? Here's the 4-hour order block right here. 4-hour order block, okay? Well, okay. Once price rejects off the 4-hour order block, comes out of the 4-hour order block, I'm looking for my scalps, right? I'm going to show you these settings I have. I have internal market structure at the default number 5, okay, on a 5-minute time frame. Okay. I have a change of character to the bear side. Comes into the 4-hour order block. I want to scalp leaving the 4-hour order block, right? It breaks out, retest the 4-hour order block, off to the races. New change of character prints right here. That's my entry. We're off to the races. Okay? Now, I can take a look. I can adjust the settings for micro moves. How do I do that? Head over to the settings. I've mentioned this in previous live streams. Kick it down to 2. Let's see. I don't know. There you go. Change of character formed once it exits the 4-hour order block. Now I'm getting in sooner, but there's give and take. Once you get in sooner, right, maybe it's a little bit too soon. So this is where trade management comes into place, right? If you entered on this change of character, you better know when to exit. What are your exits rule? Well, an exit rule could be change of character in the opposite direction. It could be some, different higher lows printing, right? Right now we're using change of character. Retest the 4-hour order block, bounces up. Break a support, break a support, break a support, change of character. The move is done. Okay? The move is done. How do I know the move is done? You know why? because I'm hitting this 4-hour order block up top. The move is done. Okay. Now, instead of market structure, what else could we do? You guessed it. Highs and lows. Turn off market structure. This is why I love Luxalgo's price action concepts. I don't need anything else. Everything is in this toolkit. Okay. Look at that. Now with lower lows, changing structure to higher lows. This is what I actually use. It pinpoints the actual highs and lows of the structure. Well, it tells me if 2 or 3 bars later, but it's a lot sooner that it fits my taste, right? Look where this high low prints, right at the 4-hour order block. I'm off to the races, right? 4-hour order block up top. What did I just say? Exit. Once price exits a 4-hour order block, scalp it. Coming out. It's coming out, right? Lower low. I'm in like Flynn. Boom. Nat gas is my favorite for today, right? That's all I got, Jacob. Tips and tricks.
Beautiful,
right.
Beautiful. Appreciate it.
Hey, no problem.
Oh man.
So the tips and tricks for today was not actually the tips and tricks, right?
Right.
They're the same tips and tricks. The tip of the day is natural gas. That's for me.
Natural gas.
You guys want to jump on board, do your homework, right?
Right, exactly. I mean, we'll play it to 2 o'clock or 3 Eastern, honestly, right till power hour this time, but we won't stay through power hour. Gold, we can look over gold. Let me throw my chart back up here. We can take a look at gold. He was looking at the ES and natural gas. Get gold up for you. Gold is breaking. We were saying this 100 times over and over. Gold is breaking. Remember, we set an alert here earlier to see if it would cross it, and it's not going to.
Look at those 4-hour candles. 4 hours is a long time, but look at all those candles.
Right. Crazy. They all it was like 5 or 6 consecutive bearish candles in a row. Let me put on now I want to see the 4-hour order blocks for this guy here. What am I doing? There they are. I think we've been in no man's land for the most part. I have them turned off. Boom. There we go. Come on, order blocks. Oh, they're all the way up there. Wow. Okay. Gonna see here if we had anything to show us, but seems as if we are pretty much. I think the 5-minute it makes sense why, because there's just so many above that. There you go. There you go. There's our 4-hour blocks we're looking at. Got a lot on the downside here to target. So like we talked about yesterday, we were saying this. If this low breaks, 1800 would be my target here. You can see on the non-overlap, most significant is this 1811. But that's the range I would target. There's your BOS that you're getting to form right now on the 15-minute. Will this head lower? I think for now that is a high probability. I will say, though, you do have... let me see here. You do have this... wick down, right? Bounce. Is it going to bounce again? Probability is a lot lower here. So I would say probably not. Probably won't bounce again. But you never know. We'll see here in a little bit. Price on the oscillator for the 15-minute is extended. And maybe it does bounce back, but we'll see. We can wait around, but for now, I think it's going lower. ES setting that higher low on the 15-minute. And look what it did. It bounced off a breaker block. That's actually kind of cool. Bounced off a 4-hour breaker. I don't normally have breakers up, so I really wouldn't really trade it. But in the current situation that we are in, I mean, we clearly have had an aggressive downtrend, right? This has been quite a move. Let's see if I had a different. I guess we can just do this. Beep. And look at this perfect trend it's been in. So I would say, you know, breaking out of this box would be nice on the ES15. But so far, you can see we're attempting to fill this imbalance that formed right here. It's mega imbalance. We formed some of it. We filled it up a little bit, but you can see it has rejected. If, you know, we were to pull up the FVGs, the fair value gaps, you probably see them. See a really big one form here. Obviously, the bigger they are, the better. In my opinion, more impulse, more imbalance to be filled, easier to target because liquidity is just sitting there. But yeah, I mean, that's almost exact on that. We would like to see here for a, you know, if you wanted a trade, yeah, it's just too, right now it's not a great spot because you have that downtrend resistance. I would say you want to get that change of character somewhere here and then look for a trade. But you might get a lower high here. But let's go to the NQ. Why not? Check out our pal over there. Very similar. But except this thing has broken down quite a bit more. Look at that imbalance set up there with the order block. Nice little reject on top of the imbalance. Got that fair value gap that formed here and it rejected, but also that 4-hour order block that it rejected. But notice what down here, another. We talked about this earlier. This could have been your trade setup. What do you see? This is similar to kind of what what's his name trades. I can't. Luke. Sorry. Man, I don't know. I couldn't think of that. It's similar to what Luke trades. What?
Jonathan?
Jonathan. Luke trades. Why? Because look, it's swept liquidity, right? Liquidity got swept here, had that change of character, and then it broke out, and then it bounced off a fair value gap right there that didn't get fully filled. Bounced off of it here as it exited that 4-hour. So 15-minute makes it super clean there. Liquidity gets taken out on these lows. It grabs enough liquidity to set it into a nice uptrend. And then wham. Lovely. So essentially if you wanted to trade the opposite, you know, right now we're really choppy at the bell today. So nothing really too fun to look at right now. Kind of slow. I do look at this though. This is frustrating. I took a, well, it's not necessarily frustrating, but for those of you that might have gotten, I've had a short on Exxon since this change of character here. Now this is a long-term short just because of extended gas prices, and they always come back down at some point. But Exxon, guess what? Got that change of character off of BOS, off of extended price. I took a short when we got that change of character. Ended up grabbing liquidity off that high, but now look at it. It's down here. So today, massive day for this short. From that, at this moment, 4%. Nice little move to the downside. It's always something to look at. I know there was a similar setup, I think, in Walmart that I missed. Let me double check, though. The Walmart. Yeah, Walmart, similar. Extended price, BOS, into change. A character here. Got that retracement. It's back down. But oil overall had a higher sentiment on this. Let me just see what else we had here. Man, Netflix got big gap down on Cisco there. Let me take off the fair value guess because you're going to see a lot on the stocks. Here you go. Texas Instruments. TXN. In a 4-hour order block. Right? What time frame you want there for XRP, Ben? And I gotcha. If it can exit this 4-hour order block, you know, maybe you do have a trade setup, but that is one I will be watching because technically if you get that change character here, it does implement our setup. So TXN, I'm going to set an alert, honestly, for a breakout here right now. Guess what else I can do? I can double click. Actually, I can right click on this. Hold on, let me go into this here, actually. I can go down here on the price action concepts indicator, and I can do I think there's a, is it on this thing, my alert systems? Oh yeah, it's because I'm on my TradingView app. My TradingView app recently on my desktop has not connected to the alert system. I don't know why, but if I did it on the browser, it does. But you can set an alert within the price action concept indicator that tells you when it exits an order block, or you just do a nice little guy like that. I don't know if that actually got set because it's my TradingView app's been weird. But if that does exit there, I kind of like it. We'll keep an eye on that for sure. But again, you wait. If you wait, it's gonna help a lot. XRP. Order block rejects happening right now, so I wouldn't really trade log. That's what you're looking at. Wait a second. This isn't the wrong one anyway. This is the market cap, which it should be a little similar, but I think Coinbase. Yeah, similar. There you go. High volume order block 5%. You can tell how much higher volume it is just due to the actual numbers here. 164, 64, 41, 60. So high volume order block at the moment. So if anything, I need it to break out of 55 before considering an upside trade. We do have a massive imbalance still that didn't get fully filled. But there you go. 55 breakout would be the trade on XRP, in my opinion. Man, this ended up going pretty crazy, didn't it? Yeah. Its all-time high was what? I remember buying this back in the 30s a long time ago. But it ended up dipping back down there before that gap up. That's crazy. It had that gap up. Yep, 55 would be my breakout point if it were to break through that. But it currently is in this order block. But notice, what do you see here? Exits the order block, has a leg down, retraces back in it, rejects the 50 level, exits the order block, gets a leg down, retraces, exits the order block, has a nice little trend down, and it's back in that order block. So if this exits back out of that 4-hour order block, maybe another downtrend trade to take for sure. But overall, that's what I would say. We got about 5 minutes left, guys. If you liked all the indicators here today, I would highly suggest checking out the website. It is in the description. And all you have to do is when you get on that website, you can click this 30 days risk-free. You can try it out for 30 days, as well as get 30% off your first order. Just use code LUX30. Other thing I would recommend is checking out the library. We have indicators that come out every single week. And, you know, there's a lot on here that you might want to find. You type in, you know, you could just click some of the tabs here. Dynamic overlays. There you go. You got, you know, volume delta trailing stop, Fibonacci trailing stop, You could say support and resistance indicators. You got support resistance indicators, volume-based, artificial AI indicators. I mean, whatever you're looking into or you want to learn more about, or even try out. We have a bunch of these and they're completely free. Now, the other thing is that's really unique is we do have indicators for multiple platforms. As you can see here, like if I wanted to get indicators for Thinkorswim, I can click that, and all these indicators like smart money concepts accessible on Thinkorswim, MetaTrader, NinjaTrader, and I can use the smart money concepts on that. Or like the market structure trailing stop, can even do it there. But yeah, so these are all our free indicators under the library, as well as obviously we have the premium ones on here too that you can look through and see those details on the website. You can also go to resources and guides, and under this area here, one sec, sorry. Under that area there, you do have several tabs and ways to go into these indicators and read about what they do. What does the smart trail do? What about the reversal zones, the trend tracer, and ways that you can implement that into your trading strategy. And so, yeah, you just go through there and continue to see, the patterns feature, the automatic patterns that can really help you. You can learn how to use that. When detecting if you want to see ascending, descending wedges or anything like that, head and shoulders, it maps out. But a lot of features for you that might be appealing to your own strategy or developing your own strategy. But also, it teaches you how to use them if you want to learn, step by step how to use them, and not just be like, hey, I want something like, this certain feature. But in here, like Hyperwave tells you about the signal lines, SMA versus TS, because there are several different settings that you can use as well to customize the money flow and the overflow type stuff within the oscillator, or the confluence, we can customize that too. But yeah, always customization for you guys to give you the best features in which you can use these indicators to develop your own profitable trading strategy. Other thing I would highly recommend you doing is going and joining the Discord. There is a free section of the Discord for the public. You can join that, and we're hanging out in there chatting all the time, trading different assets. Of course, we have sections for each one: crypto, forex, the Lux bot, which is also being developed, but that's also only for the VIP members. So you can go in here, obviously, and see what Lux Algo is telling you. Like, there you go, very bullish on this on 10-2. But again, that's another thing that's in the works. But as you can see, you got Luke in there and all of our VIP members. You do get access straight to the Discord as soon as you do get the 30 days risk-free. When you sign up, you get access to the VIP part of the Discord. But anybody that's just wants to hang out in the general area, you can as well. We are trading in there too. But another big thing that some people don't know is the pro strategy section is in the VIP area as well. And you can go through here. These are just approved strategies that we've made sure work. So you can go through here, learn how these how people are trading with these indicators, and then copy them, tweak them, however you want to do it yourself. But we make sure to give you enough options, and we're constantly adding new things here, like posted 3 days ago, posted 4 days ago. This guy has one with the signal mode that's on, signal classifier. So cool little signal classifier, new update on the pro strategies. But yeah, make sure you check that out. And we appreciate you guys tuning in. Obviously, we do have that bug we are fixing with TradingView, but we might have to wait for TradingView to update their system, but I don't know. But we'll keep you updated. Make sure to follow what you're saying.
Yeah, it's done. It's complete.
It is done? Really?
Yeah, yeah. Everyone, restart and reload.
Hey, let's see here. I'm just gonna tick off everything.
Yeah.
And just add a new.
Watch, it's gonna prove me wrong.
Live stream. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Go ES here. Well, actually, I didn't even. I have to update this. Hold on. 1.4.3. You can see it there. Bam. Yep, it's working.
Party.
What am I doing? So there you go. Chart 4-hour order blocks are up. If I add them all, 500, hide overlaps. We are functioning now. Awesome. So order blocks are back up. That's great. 1.4.3, make sure you exit. You get rid of the last one to update like this. You go back to your invite only scripts. You do price action concepts. And it should show up on there. 1.4.3 is the updated version. So make sure you go and change that so you don't have that issue. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. But there you go. We're constantly working to update these. Let's see. I'll check the 1 hour for you. 1 hour is working. Make sure you're on 1.4.3. If you added that and it's still failing, then make sure to just close out your browser completely and refresh TradingView, and then try it after you re-add it. But make sure you're on 1.4.3. There's the 1 hour chart, and it's functioning. So hopefully that's completely fixed. If not, they will continue to work on fixing it, but it looks like it's working fine now. Cool. Well, Mickey, I appreciate you coming and hanging out again. Obviously, you're always going to be here, so I don't know why I say that, but I appreciate you joining the call. And guys, yeah, thanks for everyone that came and hung out with us. We're going to try to do this daily at some point, kind of like what you got here today. We're about going on 2 hours now. Probably will be between an hour and a half and 2 hours each time. But stay tuned for a surprise coming up for the live stream. We're going to get real personal here soon. It's going to be interesting, but it'll be fun. We'll have a good time.
Yeah, I got to start working out and stuff.
Yeah, you got to take a shower, Mickey.
It's all good. I love this.
Awesome.
Love it.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate it, and we will see you next week. And yeah, sooner or later, we will see you every single day. So stay tuned for that.
All right.
But for now, next week.
Have a good one.
Yeah, have a good one, guys. See ya.